We believe that Johnny Reynolds the Business Secretary, has announced an urgent review of the electric vehicle policy of this government. What more can you tell me?
Well, the Business Secretary will be making a statement in the House later today.
Really?
Obviously, this is a commercial decision for the company, but I know that the Business Secretary has been working closely with industry to bring stability and consistency to our approach. Obviously, we set out our plans in the manifesto. We provided more funding in the budget for this priority, but we will work really closely with industry on next steps.
The policy, the industry says at this stage, is going to cost them £6 billion this year. In addition to that, potentially 1,100 jobs at Vauxhall, certainly 800 jobs with Ford. The transition cannot happen as quickly as you want it to, can it?
Well, we're going to work really closely with industry, Kay, to make sure that this is rolled out effectively. There will be a consultation, which I know the Business Secretary will be setting out in due course, and there will be a statement in the House later today. OK,
well, let me put it another way. Can you say that phasing out new cars being powered solely by internal combustion engine will be totally a thing of the past by 2035? Is that a realistic claim?
That's the ambition of this government, and that's what obviously we set out in terms of our plans at the election. But I know that the Business Secretary and others in government are working closely with industry to make sure we deliver on those ambitions, to hear concerns from the industry, to make sure that we...
Why only now? These plants are closing.
Well, we're working really closely with the sector. There is the consultation on its way as well, and obviously Rachel Reeves at Budget announced additional funding to support EV charging points and also that shift to electric vehicles for vans.
I mean, it's madness that companies in the UK are having to buy electric vehicle credits from countries like China and the United States, direct competition for these companies, in order to try to meet these unrealistic targets.
I mean, you're absolutely right, and it's really important that there is the infrastructure up and down the country. In my own constituency, half of the charging points currently aren't working. So there is a journey that we need to take. Absolutely right, and I've been calling out the council for that, and it's absolutely right that we've got the right infrastructure in place to make this a suitable journey and an easier journey for motorists to move towards.
What about if people don't want these cars?
Well, we've set out the ambition. We obviously need to take consumers with us, and I know that Johnny Reynolds will do a good job on this work, and he will obviously set out more detail on this later in the House.
Today?
Today.
And you don't think it's too late? You should have done this earlier.
Well, he's working really closely with industry already. I know he's regularly meeting with industry partners.
OK. Tell me about breakfast clubs and what you want to roll out.
Well, we're determined to break the link between background and opportunity. And breakfast clubs, we know, will make such a big difference to children's lives. They will get children ready to learn at the start of the school day, and they also improve behaviour, attendance and attainment. And I'm really excited to be rolling this out today, announcing that schools could be part of an early adopter scheme ahead of our plans to introduce breakfast clubs in every primary school across the country.
How much is it going to cost?
So we've announced a tripling of funding in the budget to over 33 million.
Is that enough?
There are different models up and down the country, and that's why this early adopter approach will look at what makes the biggest impact and want to work really closely with schools to make sure that it's a brilliant offer across every part of the country. OK.
Prime Minister has been quoted as saying yesterday that Britain isn't working. Do you agree with him?
Well, we want to grow the economy and we want to make sure that people are working, and obviously what the Prime Minister said...
They're not, though, are they? Well, 9 million people economically inactive.
Well, we've got lots of people that are long-term unemployed, and that's why our ambitious plans to support people back to work, to grow the economy, I think will make a real difference. And the Youth Guarantee programme, which will support young people into work, I think is a really important programme, which will hopefully make a difference.
We're also sick note Britain, aren't we? Spending on sickness benefits could well reach £100 billion a year by the end of this Parliament. What are we doing as a country so wrong that people would rather get a sick note than go to work?
Well, we need to raise aspirations across our country.
How do we do that?
Well, we're reviewing the curriculum and assessment system in the school system. We want to make sure that young people leave school and college ready for work and ready for life, building their confidence and resilience. We want to make sure there's good enrichment opportunities for children and young people. And obviously one of our commitments is to introduce work experience for young people so they've got those confidence and resilience skills to support them as they go into employment.
A lot of them have also got mental health challenges, and there's a lot, we're told, of self-diagnosed mental health problems. Do you acknowledge and accept that, or are you more with Mel Stride for the government, for the for the opposition? Thank you, who says actually it's not a mental health challenge. A lot of these people are just a bit, in his words, bluesy.
Well, well-being and mental health is a huge issue that parents raise with me when I visit schools and colleges, and that's why we're committed to access to a dedicated mental health professional in every school. We want to make sure that every child and young person succeeds and thrives, and that by doing that investment in schools, I think that will make a real difference to support young people through their life.
Yeah, but do you acknowledge that self-diagnosed mental health is not always, we can't always take it at face value?
I mean, our priority is to make sure we support young people with the skills that they need to get the jobs for the future, and obviously our youth guarantee will help achieve that.
No, your job as a government is to get people into work, surely?
Yeah, and through the youth guarantee that was announced earlier this week, hopefully we will help achieve that.
Okay, what are your thoughts on assisted dying? It's a tricky one.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's a hugely emotive issue, and obviously there's views on both sides that are strongly held views. Obviously it's a free vote on Friday, and it's really important that people listen to what their constituents have to say, and as it's a matter of conscience, they make a decision on what they believe is the right thing to do.
And where are you?
So my constituents will know that I will be voting in favour of the legislation on Friday.
Why?
Because it's, I believe, the right thing to do based on the feedback that I've heard from my constituents on this highly emotive issue.
We were looking at a poll on the programme yesterday, I think 5,000 people, so it was a significant poll. Only 11%, once they were explained to them exactly what the bill would mean, were in favour or in support of it. There is a suggestion that there hasn't been enough time to debate it, so people don't know potentially what you're voting for.
Well, I think it's for MPs to make a decision on what they want to do. It's a matter of conscience. It's not for me to influence how they vote. They need to look at the information, they need to look at the evidence and make a decision based on that information.
And do you think, in your opinion, that religion should play a factor in how MPs decide to vote on this?
This is a free vote, Kay, and I think it's absolutely right that people make a decision based on what their constituents share with them, and ultimately they're held accountable for that decision on how they vote.
But should religion play a part in that?
I'm not going to get into that. I don't want to influence how other people are going to vote on Friday. I've made my mind up, and I think that's the right thing to do.
Do you think it will pass?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's a free vote, and I know that Parliament.
I'm sure that in the tea
rooms,
lots of people are talking about it, though, aren't they? I mean, what are you feeling? What's your view on how it's going?
My focus is on responding to what my constituents tell me and the decisions that I will make on Friday.
Okay, it's good to see you as always.
And you.
Thanks very much indeed for taking the time to join us. We appreciate it.